Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Garrett, it's Joe, it's Wrestle Fandom Radio, brought to you by Rockin Horse Tattoo and Seasonal Sports. What is up, Joe?
You know what, Garrett? It's a good day. Like, I'm excited today. We got a lot to cover today. Actually.
We got so much to cover. It's not even funny. But before we get to like the most exciting thing that's happened to the show so far, before we go any further, we're graced again by the one and only Todd. It's Todd.
Yay!
It's Todd time.
It's Todd time.
It's Todd time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, guys.
He's back.
Thanks for having me back.
And I'm really digging that shirt, Todd.
Thank you. Yeah, my girlfriend got it for me, and kind of like
a Pink Floyd Ninja Turtle shirt is absolutely
it's super dope is what it is.
She was like, it kind of is both. You love the Ninja Turtles and your radio? There you go. I was like, that is the best.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then also, if you check out the comments, you are also going to see the Wrestle Fandom Radio store direct link right into no, one click, and you're at all of our stuff.
What's there on your left boobie?
Oh, right here, right here. Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Okay, this is one of the things that was made just specifically for us. If you go onto our store, you see all the very nice, normal, official stuff, the easy stuff. Fred decided to take a picture of our nice, pretty picture of the belt and made this specifically for us. So
we got lots to cover. ICW.
We got lots to cover. So listen, we're gonna get to we have to
Foley Appreciation Day.
Yeah,
bang bang.
There's a lot. What happened last week with MJF? Was it real? Was it not real? Seemed real. You know.
And I love that after Garrett was basically about MJF, about 5 hours later, I'm getting a text message being like, I love MJF. I love him. He's the best thing ever.
It's not that it was less him in more like, what are they doing? Right. You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? You know? So, okay, so I went to the Immortal show. I went to work it like I normally do, if everyone knows. You know, look at the Facebook page. You know, you see all the things that I share.
I had prior commitments, so I was not able to attend it with him.
Now, there is something that we've had that.
Oh, don't even give me any kind of credit for it. Okay, this is all your brainchild.
This is something that I've had going on. If you've ever heard of Trophy Smack, they make rings, belts, and you know actual trophies. For I don't know.
And when he says rings, he means finger rings, not wrestling. Yeah, not wrestling. I don't want anybody out here to get a little.
So you know, they were on like Shark Tank, and you know their ads are all over the place. Okay. So I go on and I see that you can customize one, and I was like, and I made one. It was just the Wrestle Fandom Radio Championship, you know. And I showed it to my wife, and I was like, you know, maybe if you looked on because I don't even have my own actual like computer myself. So she pulls up her computer, and we go on. Looks super beautiful. Boom, you know, she orders it. So we, you know, made a belt. Comes in a few weeks later, and you know, having a little bit of issues. Not issues with me being here. Just trust me. You can joke and attest today. The issues are not. They're not me. Okay. So this is what the belt ended up looking like. I know it's a little, you know, but it's super pretty. It's real. It's 6 pounds. It's huge. It's a belt. It's a real belt.
Oh, it's legit.
It's a legit thing. Like you know. So I told the powers that be at Immortal that you know I just ordered a belt, had one coming. They wanted to do something with it. If they didn't, whatever they wanted to do. Brought it to the next show once I had it, the Rome show. Showed it to, you know, everybody. They, you know, wow, that's a nice belt. That's, you know, then all of May goes by because obviously they didn't have a May show.
Right.
Walk in, and it turns out that I have to open the show by going out there talking with Mike Falvo, who you know, as we know, Mike Falvo, you know, always
wonderful.
He's just the best. One of the best ring announcers in the world. Period.
Michael Buffer, who?
Yeah, yeah. Who needs Buffer when you got a Falvo? Okay,
exactly.
So go out there, open the show with him, introduce the belt. So I'm out there and I'm telling people about the show. I'm telling people but you know, the fans were really nice. They clapped when I came out. You know, they were like cheering the title because it's It's nice. Fable's showing it off. I'm talking about it. And then Coffin's music went off.
Our friend Coffin?
Our buddy Coffin. And he came out. He didn't even say anything. He just held his hand out for the title.
So does that mean
we're friends?
So
okay?
does that mean we're good on payment?
I think so. We're friends, and it's he didn't even say hi he just stuck his hand out. So I just handed it to him. Okay, so I handed him the belt. So he claimed himself champ, which I'm not going to argue, right?
Coffin.
And then, but said he wanted to defend it, so he could be the official champ. So music goes off, and the For Real Chris Jackson comes out. Okay, they have a match, and as you can imagine, it went the way you would imagine a match with Coffin would go, But then, of course, Coffin, hits him with his penitent slam. I don't even know what he calls it. He literally puts them in a mandible claw and then picks them up and slams them.
Nice.
I don't ever want that move done to me. Okay.
No.
But then he wins. So we have introduced the championship into a wrestling fed, which is just I'm like flying high about it. So
there is a Wrestle Fandom Radio Championship. Like,
you see my face? Like,
oh my God!
I can't stop how hard the smile is. But look at this man. Look, he's even more handsome than normal. Look at him. Look at that belt on his.
That jewelry looks good on him.
It looks so good. But then because and it's a good thing. I caught him. Because a lot of times he'll just come in. It's a good thing I caught him because obviously we got started a little bit late today. But yeah, so I caught a couple words. It was him and Bishop. Bishop, the leader of Taxia. Yeah. So let's check out what they had to say.
Congratulations on the coffee. Thank you. Your VP. That's a brilliant attack. That's right. They did just come back with the school. I love this. It's going to be, it's disruption. I'm going to disrupt everything. Yeah. I want another shot. Okay. Anytime. I don't care. That's fine. Anytime you want. You know what? You can even bring a friend. That's fine.
You see, it's so apropos that we get the Disruption Network Championship because nobody knows Disruption more than Ataxia.
I mean, I'm there all the time. Now, I may as well just move in, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think about that, cameraman? Should I just move right in?
I think so. I think it's a good idea.
He wasn't paid to say that either. But you know what? I'm going to have fun defending this belt. Anytime, any place, anywhere, anyone. I don't care. It's just going to be a good old-fashioned beatdown every time.
Wow.
That's it.
That's awesome.
And so as you saw, that was For Real. Chris Jackson came in, said he wanted another shot at the title, and Coffin's going to be a fighting champ. You know what I mean?
Him,
I don't know. I mean,
who'd be dumb enough to face
all of his friends. I mean, like, watch the match when it comes up. It's it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. Chris Jackson takes it to him, but it's Coffin. What are you going to do? The man's house. He's huge. That's why he's the Wrestle Fandom Radio champion. I can't.
He's our champion.
He's the champion of this show.
Yes,
I can't. I'm literally all smiles.
That really is poetic.
I'm just literally all. So let me go back into the card here so I don't miss anything. So then, if you've seen the pictures, Black and Yellow, Corey Jackson and Ting. Oh my God, what is Ting? What's Ting's last name? I don't even have it on here. They went up against Slade and Wicked. They came out to obviously because right after, they were still celebrating his brand new championship win. Slade and Wicked came out. The rest of Ataxia. So they had their tag match, and a little weird. I don't know. If he got a tongue lashing or not. I think because he got his bell rung. So, or because Wicked got his bell rung during the match because Slade decided to take the belt and try and hit Black and Yellow with it, which is a little weird. But you know what? I'm gonna let I'm gonna let Slade talk about it right here. I actually caught them outside when Wicked was trying to compose himself. So here's this.
You all right, brother?
Nah, I got fucked up, man.
I know, you got the bell wrong.
What the hell just happened?
I don't even know where to begin. Slade and Coffin, and they were tussling over the belt. I don't know what Slade was thinking. You know what? Why don't you ask him?
Dude, what's going on? If you wanted to do dirty, you could have did it. What's going on?
We've been building up too much momentum. I didn't want to lose it. 2 months ago, the Taxi got their first win in a long time. I don't want that to stop. So, in a moment of misjudgment, I went back to the old ways. And old ways die hard, but I promise that won't ever happen again. I promise.
All right.
So he just said, the old ways die hard. And, I mean, I had always known them to be, the rough guys, but
they were the heels. Like,
yeah, they were pretty heel. But, like I said, everything's been good. And we're going to leave it at that. They're going to keep going on their upward momentum. Like I said, now they got the Wrestle Fandom Radio Championship in that stable. So it's going to be awesome. So yeah, obviously, Black and Yellow went up because of the mishap. Okay, right. And then so it might be things might be slightly out of order, but then we had the $1,000 open challenge by Brute Van Slyke. And literally, so if you saw,
I can only imagine how it went.
It was like weeks. It was open. And no one answered it, okay? And then Saren Rain decided to answer it, okay?
Why?
I don't know. And you know what? I caught him before he went out, so just watch.
Okay. The $1,000 open challenge. Are you really sure that you want to do that? I mean, it's Brute Van Slyke. Fuck yeah! No, I don't, but shut up. When I talk, you listen. Those are the rules. I swear to God, I will knock your teeth out. You will learn to behave. I am here to show you that the mind is so much stronger than the body. And with that, I will win against Brute. Shut up. But it's Brute Van Slyke.
I mean, I don't know the guy, like he said, okay? But it's Brute Van Slyke. I mean, you can't just help but be worried about like somebody taking Brute Van Slyke on one-on-one, okay? The man.
Well, I saw the video.
Brute Van Slyke.
Brute actually just posted the video of how that match went.
So yeah, I mean, go to his page, go check that out. But I stayed right. Like I went, saw what happened, came right back to my spot, and
how'd it go? This is Brute Van Slyke. I tried telling you.
Yeah.
I tried telling him.
Brute.
I tried.
You did.
The Haas Express hit him so hard when he was in the turnbuckle, the whole entire ring moved.
Shifted.
Like
shifted. Okay. Just So all right. So then, what else we had? So then Danny Adam and Matic went at it in their singles match. How's
Matic's son doing?
So because Matic is 24/7, there's always going to be people running in. Just go watch the match when it's posted. It's hard to say everything that happened. And then we had Kayla Sparks and Angelina Love versus Karen Bam Bam and Valerie Verma. I told you Karen Bam Bam was not done with Kayla Sparks.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're, but again, Kayla Sparks, she's on that winning streak, especially with Angelina Love with her in that tag. They went up as good as Valerie Verman is, along with Karen. it is what it is. The Natural Destroyers took on ISIS FX and TJ Epics. Again, a lot of times I don't really like to go through like the actual like win-loss thing of these, because I want people to go and check out the actual matches, because I want them to watch them and appreciate the wrestling that happens in them. If there's title stuff, I will obviously we'll talk. We talk about what we have to. Or, if title changes hands, we have to talk about that.
Right.
Garrett Holiday went against Joey Conway. Greed, who's Lotto and Big Budget, who we met at the Rome show, then took on the Stetsons, Chip and Shane.
How'd that work out for Greed?
I mean, I'm sure everything went well, but not so well that they became champs.
It's the freaking Stetsons.
It's the Stetsons.
Come on.
It's the Stetsons, but like if you pay attention to this card, there was a lot of tag teams on this card. Black and Yellow, the boys from Taxia. There's always Hired Gun Inc. there. Now we got Natural Destroyers. We got Greed. Like
Stetson.
If ISIS and TJ want to actually be like this real solid like heart, because usually we see ISIS, solo, but it's crazy. It's getting crazy in the tag team game right now in Immortal. So I
find it very interesting. It's right after it's been like 2 shows since they've had tag belts now.
Yeah, but now people are gunning.
Everybody wants it.
They're gunning.
Well, this is what I'm hoping. They're gunning for the new shiny, brand new thing for the tag belts. But now there's a newer, shinier thing.
There's another new shiny belt. Yeah. So then right before like the end of the show, too, because Matic and Danny Adam, they were back on the same page even after their match. So, they were back. They were in the back partying as usual, like their regular celebration of how everything goes. And, I happened to catch this. This is what happened.
That was great. Sorry about everything that happened over there. Water under the bridge, man. I'm glad everything's okay. Axel, we had a great time, man. It was a lot of fun. You know what? Tag team, we're back together again. Well, we'll see what July brings. July's looking good, I think. We'll have a lot of fun. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but it'll be a good time. Bye!
It's great you guys are finally back together.
Yeah!
Everybody's getting along.
Absolutely. What the hell are you doing? What am I doing? We're celebrating.
This is an elementary school. You got alcohol.
And
it's an elementary school. I can't. You're suspended for 30 days.
What do you mean I'm suspended? But
you got beer in the freaking.
But Axel. Wait. But Axel. What are you? Drinking water. This is like high school all over again. It's an elementary school. You'll never learn. Never learn.
So unfortunately now, Danny Adams, he's not going to be at the July show. I feel it almost makes me feel like a little naked. He's at like every show. He's a staple.
Yeah.
But
30-day suspension.
You can't drink beer in an elementary school.
I mean, if you're going to drink beer, why are you drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon?
That too.
What was there? I don't know.
UC's just as cheap and way, way better.
I don't know. But then Greek God Papadon then came for his single shot at the title. And
how'd that go? Did he get a single shot?
He didn't. He did not walk away with it. Mike Skyros is still your reigning ICW.
Now, how did Skyros beat him? I'm curious. Was it the low blow?
No.
You beat him clean?
It was not. It was he won. He won. That we're gonna be sharing as soon as, because a lot of times like if they share them like today, like Brute just shared his. I didn't see it because I was getting ready for a show. So but as soon as we see people sharing the shows, boom, 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 we share them all. You'll be able to catch all of them right on the Wrestle Fandom radio page, and we'll be sharing them. So. In summation, Immortal was
amazing.
It was an amazing show, like it always is. First off, and there's a brand. We have a champion.
There's a Wrestle Fandom
Radio champion.
Champion.
Like, I just can't. I say every time I say it, I make this face right here with like the huge smile where my eyes disappear. Like I can't because I'm smiling ear to ear. It's like I can't believe it had like I want to thank all the powers that be and Immortal for letting us do that. You're literally making my dream come true. Like when I was younger, I wanted to be a wrestler and just never went about it the right way because I'm me and I'm the king of procrastination. So, but I'm extremely creative and I'm writing all the time. And I would just love, because of Z.
What, is this a job interview?
No. Because of Z, I ended up here. As much as Z, we want to punch him in his stupid face all the time. Back whenever he was cool with us, at least he seems to be nice to everybody except us.
I think it's jealousy. Really.
It could be. But everything he let's do this. Gave me the shot to do this, and now Immortal's giving us the shot, or giving me the shot to do that, and I'm flying high. So
I'm so
that's enough talking from me. I feel like here's a guy who talks professionally, and I've done all the talking so far. I feel bad that
But for me, really, like when you decided to reboot the show, you bringing me in, Z when he was cool, like ICW for giving us a connection in the business, and to have this platform, like it's led into the Movie Madness podcast too, and everything else. Like all this is something I've attempted many times with podcasts and everything, and it's always been a dream to do something along these lines, and to have this platform. And let's be honest, we run the D now, okay?
Yeah.
Like Z's even too afraid to even come to the studio.
I know. What was the last time we saw him?
Who?
Exactly.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like
it's been months.
Like, and it's great. Like I feel like we have free reign. We can be as creative as we want. We get to bring in new friends and just it's amazing. And like I want to thank Mike King for allowing us to be a part of the world he's created.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And
King is the man. As you saw though in the video, fortunately, sometimes you got to be, you got to be a little stern.
Oh,
you can't let people have alcohol on school grounds. So
yeah.
So
think about that.
Yeah. So, but that was that. I'm sure you're going to be hearing a lot from our champion.
Yeah, I can't wait. We need to definitely get him back.
Oh, when you're the thing is too, like if you're gonna be Wrestle Fandom Radio champion, like you can literally just waltz in here whenever you want. On either show.
Yeah, like he didn't do that already.
He already did it.
Like he didn't do that already.
Like one day when he wasn't happy with us, he came in the door that's always locked that you can't get in. He just opened it, and there's like a bar that holds it on, and he just. It didn't. It's like it wasn't even there. It's like it's made out of styrofoam. He just,
So
big strong guy.
So I want to run through the Hell in the Cell results real quick, and then we'll talk MJF.
Literally run through,
and then we will celebrate Miss Foley's baby boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, I typically like the Hell in the Cell matches themselves, and this one actually I did like a lot, but the rest of the card was so, I want to say, timid.
I've been over Hell in a Cell since they had the DQ go off in Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't have a DQ in a Hell in a Cell.
No. It defeats the purpose of it all.
It's all, but like you said, it's all super tame now. What's the point? And just end Hell in a Cell. End Hell in a Cell and bring back the King and Queen of the Ring as a pay-per-view, because you're not doing Hell in a Cell any justice.
And honestly, I'm just going to talk about two other matches besides the other ones because I really don't even give a shit about the rest of this card. Yeah. But Bianca Belair retained over Asuka and Becky Lynch.
Right.
It was a decent match. I don't know. It wasn't like all three of them are amazing athletes, and they all can put a show together. And I don't know. Like it was something. It just seemed off about it. I don't know if it's I'm just sick and tired of Bianca Belair. That could be part of it. Like I just too much of her, and it's almost like the Bayley effect. Like,
okay,
when Bayley got pushed, as a face, it just what made her like real likable became extremely unlikable because it was too much of it.
Right.
So this is something I want to go into what happened on Raw after. We had Judgment Day. They defeated AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan. And then the following night on Raw, Edge starts cutting a promo, and he reveals Finn Balor has now joined Judgment Day. But the rest of Judgment Day decided they don't need Edge anymore, and Judgment Day turned on Edge.
What do you think that's about?
I don't know.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either. But one of two things I think can happen with this: either Edge is gonna like take a sabbatical,
right?
Or you get Edge and AJ Styles.
That's exactly where I was gonna go. That was gonna be Edge and AJ Styles are going to team up and go against them. Which absolutely, I'll take it. I will take it.
100%.
But do you think that a woman should roll with them as well to counter the three of them? Because I
think they just swap Finn and
Liv,
Edge.
Yeah.
So I think Liv stays with them.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I want to talk about the Hell in the Cell match. Now, earlier Sunday.
But just to go back, but like Liv, no offense to her, is no match
for Rhea Ripley. I think this is how
none of the, in my opinion, like in actuality, like none of the other women are. Like
I think the only woman
Rhea Ripley is
physicality wise that can hang with Rhea Ripley would probably be that Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, and Bianca probably. Bianca is like real strength, like real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she looks like she can bench or squat.
Or
like
Rhea and Ronda would be a great matchup too.
Yeah,
because strength for skill. Like
yeah.
I just think they should have pulled it a little more with Edge and everything, and before they turned on him.
Yeah,
like until like Money in the Bank, have Edge in it, and then have them come out, screw him over so he doesn't get, just like, something a little more than here's a new member, but now you're out.
But I think with Edge, Edge has set his expiration date for when he wants to be done.
Yeah,
so I think that's part of more why it's of the rush of the. That's why you had Judgment Day come right after, like the Raw after Mania. Judgment Day debuted. And so I think there's more of a streamline with it. And so earlier Sunday, news broke that Cody had torn his pec muscle, and like kayfabe, it was because he got beat down, but in reality, I think it was some kind of lifting accident. So there's a lot of speculation going in to Hell in the Cell, like, oh, who are they going to get to replace Cody, whatever. Cody, and I'm going to say this, no respect to Seth, but Cody frickin' Rhodes came out there with half of his goddamn body bruised.
I think it was stupid. I think it was stupid for multiple reasons. One, he shouldn't have wrestled with a torn pec.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Okay, and him not being able to wrestle lets you prolong whatever the end game is for them later on, while still having Seth be a top guy. Because now you just extra buried Seth Rollins because Cody Rhodes beat him with half of his body. Mm-hmm. Okay, which I think is dumb. Because
I think this was the final.
Seth Rollins is supposed to be
feud.
But like that's exactly why he shouldn't have wrestled, because he literally had to stand like that, like he couldn't and he still beat Seth Rollins. Like you just buried Seth Rollins. Like Cody Rhodes can literally beat Seth Rollins with one arm. So like, how is Seth Rollins a threat? How is he a star? How is he anything? You just extra buried him. Like to have him go 3-0, or to have Cody go over 3-0 is one thing, but to do it with a torn pec is wrong. It's wrong on multiple levels for many reasons.
I see where you're coming from, but you got to look at the other side too. Look where that elevates Cody to. Like he's not like he was a legend to begin with, but now this will go down as a legendary match, even though like it was a good match. Like it wasn't a bad match by any stretch of imagination. But the fact that he wrestled a Hell in the Cell match with a torn pec, where you have on AEW, you have CM Punk taking a hiatus because of a broken toe. What? Shut up, Siri.
She's always interrupting.
But so you have
stay in your lane, Siri.
CM Punk taking like vacating for it was a broken toe.
Yeah,
and then you have Cody and then you have Cody come out and wrestle a match with like.
So what you're saying is it actually made WWE look like the more on top for once?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
I think like
once.
Yes. But the thing is, somebody like Seth, you can super bury Seth, but Seth will still come back from that and still be a top guy. Like
right.
Like
that's what he kind of did on Raw, because he came out,
right,
did the whole like, oh, I respect you, blah blah blah, and then came back out and beat him with a sledgehammer.
Right. So like it just, I think it worked for everybody involved because you can't super bury Seth to a point where Seth's not going to be able to recover for it.
Well, Seth's like the same stuff I was talking about with MJF on the last show.
Yes.
It's like if everyone beats him when they get to him through all the other stuff, what's the point of MJF? MJF has to be dangerous. MJF has to be able to, like, he can't just win whatever the tournament is where he gets the pink earring, because he won 2 years in a row, right? Like, okay, like that's where you're letting him get his final wins. Like, he beats the person, I think, with the exception of the last match that he had with Jericho. Like, I think Jericho went over like twice, and then MJF won the last match that they had. You know what I mean? Which is right, I feel. But still, it's like, okay, the first time he got his hands on him, he still beat him, and then he beat him again, but then he lost. But it was like, I don't know. I feel it was done from like, what if wrestling the match puts even more strain on the fact that he has that. And
but he said he's coming back in 4 weeks.
Yeah, you can't come back like John Cena
did it 4 months.
John Cena, what was his shortest was like 6 weeks or 2 months or something.
It was 4 months. So Triple H and Cena both had the same injury. It took Triple H 5 months to come back from it. And then it took Cena, he came back 4 months. And Cena's original prognosis was 6 months, and he came back 2 months early.
Yeah, and that was he came back at the Rumble, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So what I think is going to happen is I think in about 2 months, you'll see Cody back on TV, but you won't see him wrestle for another 2 months after that.
Right.
Or, and let's be honest, Cody's pecs are a little bit smaller than Cena's and Triple H's, so maybe it will take a little bit quicker to heal. But now, so before we go into Foley's stuff, let's talk the best promo in the last 10 years, because it's been 11 years since CM Punk's pipe bomb.
I don't know. The best promo might have been when him and MJF actually went at it. That promo with that 20-minute promo was unbelievable.
The best
singles promo.
Yes.
The best shoot sounding, like, was it real? Was it not real? I was even asking wrestlers at the thing, do you think that was real? Think that was not real? Because even on WrestleFeed, like the thing that we saw, he even said it's backfired because it makes AEW and Tony Khan look not cool, because it makes them look like it makes it look like they are paying the other wrestlers more. So like the company itself isn't going to be cool, and like considering you factor in all the stuff that Cody said.
Well, like,
you know what I mean?
Part of me wants to think that's almost a work to make Tony Khan and them almost heels in the vein of
like Vinnie Mac style heel.
No, so
but Tony Khan can have all the money in the world. He's not Vinnie Mac.
No, he'll never be Vinnie Mac.
No one will ever be Vinnie Mac. Okay, like we may shit on like what he does with everything now, but Vince in the mid '90s was pure evil genius.
Vince was the first guy to walk on the moon, dude. Like he really was.
Like that man. It's like when I was younger, and I don't know if I've said this in this, but when I was younger, and
so like 40 years ago.
Shut up. The thing was like like his when he after the Montreal screw job and the interview, and he's like, Brett screwed Brett. I was like, no, you screwed Brett. And the older I got, I was like, nah, Brett screwed Brett.
Yeah.
Brett screwed Brett, and Vince did what was right for his company and right for him, and that catapulted him into that position to be the guy who's in charge, but on TV and yelling at people and making stables and even winning the belts. But of course, he's bigger than other guys in, other companies that were winning belts,
Vince has always been one step ahead. Like, because when wrestling from the 70s and 80s was strictly a territory thing. Like, the wrestling you got to watch was your local TV, like, wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
And Vince was that first person that was like, hey, why don't I just take the best people from the territories and put them on TV?
Yeah.
And then, so 80s, he did that, started WrestleMania.
WWF.
Right, yes.
No.
Yes. And then,
Worldwide
WCW
Wrestling
came.
Federation.
Then you had WCW come in, so Vince had to change again. And Vince has always been able to change with the times, whether or not we've agreed with it at the time or not. I just think he's finally hit that place where his finger's not on the pulse anymore. And for, I want to say, at least the last 5-8 years, wrestling in the WWE has kind of just hit a plateau. Nothing innovative has really happened. Yeah. The last innovative thing they did was the network.
NXT.
Well, yes.
NXT, because...
And having the network itself. I think was
but like, and just, when Triple H was in charge of NXT and everything that happened on that was just... I mean, it was amazing. The storylines were fantastic. All the people that were brought in, everything was like right time, like setting up shows like Roadblock and then bringing back War Games. And oh my God, how good were like the first 3 War Games.
Oh my God.
I wanted to cry. They were so good. Okay.
Well, it's like AEW when you actually have it run by wrestlers.
Right.
Who see it in a little bit of a different light than Vince sees it.
Who has a business sense.
Yeah.
He
Not
has
like
the
Hulk
business
Hogan
sense.
running WCW. Like,
exactly. He's got the business sense, but the wrestler sense.
And and I really do think, and I think it's been very, very apparent when Cody was on his way out and then when he left AEW, you definitely see a little bit difference in the product AEW has been putting out. I think there's a little less overall guidance at the cohesiveness. I think it's a little bit more flying the seat of their pants. But so the thing with the MJF promo, they had announced earlier that day that MJF was going to cut a promo. And I think he was supposed to cut some sort of heel promo, but I don't think he was supposed to do what he did. I think it was originally supposed to be, all right, this is going to be the work. This is what we're going to do. And
so you think he changed the work into a shoot?
Oh, 100%.
That's what I've even heard some wrestlers say. He's like,
I think it's very much in vain.
Which I hate that saying work shoot because they're supposed to be two different things. You know what I mean? But I
think it's really much in the vein of when The Miz lost his shit on Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack.
Best WWE promo.
Oh my God!
In
a very long time.
And from the pipe bomb on.
Yeah.
From the pipe bomb, it was that.
That's exactly.
I probably watched that 10 times.
Oh, easily.
Easy.
But I think that he truly was coming from a place of frustration, and that was apparent. That wasn't kayfabe. You could tell he's pissed off about something, and nothing he said was wrong. Everything he said was right on the money. He has been that consistent, constantly elevating that company. And I don't know how much his contract is worth, but I do know that Tony Khan's paying these older WWE guys a lot of money to come in there. And
WCW themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I called.
If you're going to tell me that,
a year
Christian's contract isn't more than MJF's, I would laugh at you. But who actually deserves that money?
Right.
Because let's be, and I love Christian to death, but what has he
what
done?
What are they letting him do? He'd be better off, and I'm only saying this, for nostalgia's sake. He'd be better off if he was going to also finish off wrestling, heading back and finishing when Edge finishes.
I agree.
Finishing with Edge.
Whoa.
Can you imagine Edge, Christian, and AJ Styles and a stable, like,
oh, that'd be insane.
You know what I mean? Like that'd be amazing. You know,
dude, it would.
And then have even them like pick their successors when they go. You know what I mean? And I think Styles deserves a stable.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so.
Well, honestly, I thought they were gonna do another version of Bullet Club with Finn and AJ, and then
AJ,
maybe even down the road bring Cody in, and like, there you have three different.
That would have been a sick faction.
But think about it,
all three of them.
All three of them were leaders of the Bullet Club,
or with Liv too.
Right.
Oh yeah.
All three of them were leaders of the Bullet Club at 3 different times.
Right.
And like, that would have been just amazing. Yeah. And by then, who knows? Maybe Kenny Omega would have been in WWE, and then you would have just had essentially the Bullet Club. Like, yeah. And
but to go back to, I mean, like Todd, like what do you think about the
he does. It's weird to say this about a wrestler, an actor, or whatever. He's too good at it because you can't tell, which is good. It's not a bad thing,
right?
But then you sit there and you're like, well, did he? You know, because I think I saw that they removed his merchandise, removed him. Like it's like he's.
Like if it's a work, it's a damn good work.
Oh, yeah, I mean they're going like all in, which isn't a bad thing at all. Like it's a good thing because it's going to. That's what's going to bring people in.
Right. It's like they're looking at like, oh, you're gonna with what's their names, the Boss and the Glow.
Sasha and Naomi.
Yeah, Sasha and Naomi. They're like, oh, you're going to do that? Watch this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's like the old, like, here, hold my beer.
Yeah, yeah. Like, no, why don't we do this? And, yeah, so, like, if it's...
I guarantee the numbers for Dynamite tonight are going to be fucking...
They're going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be through the roof. Yeah. And you don't even know if MJF's going to be on the show.
Right.
Like, you have no idea. And I think there's a lot of reality there. I think MJF I wouldn't say went too far, but went farther than they wanted him to. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, all parties involved are going to be... it's going to benefit all of them.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a prediction.
Okay.
Predict away, good sir.
I don't think that... because they're crowning an interim champ, right?
Yeah.
That I don't think he's going to fully go away. I don't think he's going to go, I don't think Punk is going to go away. I think he will be around. I think he'll be in the back. I think he'll be on, he'll be on commentary. He'll be doing stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think whoever will be the champ will be wildly popular, and he might have to take a heel turn in order to do that. And if he did, do you think it'd be smart to actually pair
with MJF,
him and Punk and MJF together, considering, how much of a fan he used to be? Like, you actually use that, what I mean? Like, he even tried to use it to bait him to then beat the crap out of Punk when he beat him the first time they wrestled. Right. Like, actually get to say, like, let's do this. You know what I mean? I get to you get to tag with your hero, your former hero, and I get to tag with a person who was a fan. Let's do this, and let's take it over, and and like I think not that MJF necessarily needs it, but that'd also be a good time because apparently there's just people hurt all over the place in AEW. Scorpio Sky is hurt.
Yep.
Daniel Bryan's hurt. Mm-hmm. So if which means if Daniel Bryan's hurt, the what's his name better be coming out. All the time.
So that's my actual.
Wheeler Yuta. I freaking love Wheeler Yuta. I really do. He's my favorite member of the.
So your prediction kind of aligns with mine. I think I think that actually will happen, but I think they're going to put the belt on Moxley.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a program where it's Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, MJF, and CM Punk. You're going to see a lot of. That kind of pairing. That's a good pairing too. Because obviously, like, you imagine the matches there.
As awesome as Yuta is too, like if Yuta loses, whether he loses the pure championship or not, maybe he gets the TNT. No, which one is which? TNT is the males and TBS is the females.
Yes.
Okay, so he gets the TNT championship. Let's say, you know what I mean, and then. and that now you've got the
Well,
I don't know.
I think you're going to see a program with MJF and Wheeler Yuta.
That's what I'm saying.
Come out of that, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But regardless, I also think no matter what happens, that and I know I think I said it last show, CM Punk should win the ROH championship at some point, and that he should retire as
that would be dope.
As that champ, and then have it go back up or something.
Or do it even, pull it old school and literally have him leave through the crowd with the championship, like he did.
That's what I mean
in WWE.
Yeah, have him
like
leave.
Just foof, like
have him leave with that championship. You know what I mean? And just because it's like how he's so big through ROH. You know what I mean?
Now, what happened? I thought he was, obviously Wednesday was whatever, and then he announced Friday that he was stepping away. But was like him and FTR supposed to be like a new stable? Because they were putting us off on Twitter like CMFTR, but then that happened. And
well, because I think the trios belts are coming.
Yes. Oh, okay.
So I think they were being pushed a little more because now that the Pinnacle has dissolved.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of testing the waters to see what fan reaction would be.
And obviously, and I think even just the one tweet, it's just like, why don't you just give us the championships and we'll call it a day or something like that, or what, I mean, obviously that'd be a hell of a trio.
Oh yeah, definitely.
FTR and CM Punk, that's awesome.
FTR.
Yeah. So
because that's what they were throwing out on Twitter, and then Friday came, and Punk was like, "Oh man, I broken stuff, and see you later."
I got a hangnail.
Yeah. But that's the other thing, kind of going back to the guys and whatever. It's like you're paying these old WWE guys a lot of money, but literally we were just listing off how many of them are hurt. Mm-hmm. Jeff Hardy. Yep. Daniel Bryan. CM Punk.
And I understand the thought process of bringing them in does add legitimacy to it, and I do think AEW's run way better than WCW was.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At that time where they're letting the wrestlers run the company, but I do think you have to balance those scales.
Yeah,
and I think guys like MJF, you need to pay. Like, you need to pay to keep there. Because, honestly, if the zeros aren't at the end of that check, what's going to stop them from jumping to WWE?
Right. Like, how ugly would it be if, like, one of the people that was touted as your pillars jumps?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
It's like, those are the guys that you want to keep. Who is it? It's MJF.
Jungle Boy.
Darby Allin.
Darby.
And who was? Because I know the big joke was that MJF or that Britt Baker had replaced MJF at the CM Punk joke. Who's the other person? It's not Sammy, is it?
I think it is.
Is it Sammy Guevara?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not the biggest Sammy fan. He's a good wrestler.
I was there when he beat Miro, and the pop that in Rochester was just...
I think he's good. There's nothing I, like, technically dislike. I just, it's like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a nothing, his situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think, again, I think he's a great wrestler. But I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I just feel bad for Johnny Elite. It seems like wherever he goes, he just gets crapped on.
He changes his name for every company he goes to. He's Johnny Impact. He's Johnny Elite.
And then all of a sudden, it's just
MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara.
Yeah. See, I would even say at that point that Britt Baker had replaced more Sammy Guevara than MJF. But yeah.
All right, so
you got to get to it because explain your situation for today.
So I am going out to Albany in like 3 hours, 2 hours, to go see Mick Foley's live comedy storytelling show and doing a meet and greet with the hardcore legend himself.
That's awesome.
And
super awesome.
He's one of my top 5. Like him, Austin, Rock, Triple H, and Taker are my top 5. And I was raised in that Attitude Era, like that's, and like they were. And the funny thing is, Triple H and Mankind /Dude Love / Cactus Jack. My appreciation for them, as much as like I liked them, like I liked Foley fine when I was a kid. I found him very entertaining or whatever, but I wasn't going to go out there and buy a Cactus Jack shirt. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As I got older, and I realized it's almost like, you know, your parents tell you all that shit when you're a kid, and you're like, whatever, Mom, whatever, Dad. And then like when you become an adult and then you become a parent, you look back and it all just clicks, and you're like, oh shit, like I understand what that means. Almost like you said with the Bret Hart situation.
Well, yeah, not only with the Bret Hart, but like I used to be like whatever about Jericho.
Right.
When he came in with Y2J, like I just didn't care. I saw him as like with the first big jump from WCW to WWE, and like I didn't care. I'm like, who's this outsider?
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't care. And now when I look back at everything, like look back at all the work he did prior, and then the work he did when he came in, and like how they should have worked him slightly better, even though he was the very first undisputed champion, like he should be, because Jericho is the GOAT. Period. He's the GOAT.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's the GOAT. I'm sorry. Like, you can say this person did this. No, Jericho is the GOAT. The man is reinvention incarnate.
And the thing with you looking back on Foley's career, and I've watched every documentary, every interview. Like I've even watched Holy Foley. Like I've gone through and I've watched everything, and my appreciation for him grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and. Looking at him, he never should have been a professional wrestler successfully. Like, he had all the odds stacked up against him. And he became an internationally known superstar purely by sheer will.
Will.
He has talent, obviously, but he's so courageous and brave just to... Like, how he's not in a wheelchair now is absolutely
pretty mind-boggling, yeah.
Because everything he's done, like he just kept on reinventing himself. He did what any little crumb he took, and he made into a feast for all of us. Whether it be the various characters he played, reinventing those characters, being a commissioner, like being the hardcore legend, being everything.
Right. Like, even just Mankind, how many different versions of just Mankind are?
Seriously.
You know what I mean?
Right. Like, and it's to he's to the point now where it's, oh, Mankind or Dude Love, you say Foley, and you know, like, he's all that in one now. And, like, he always goes above and beyond. Like, his podcast, Foley is Pod, debuted this last week, and it was the #1 wrestling podcast on Apple Podcasts, and it's literally just him talking about Hell in the Cell matches for 2 hours, and he's so articulate. Like, I've read his books. He's such a talented writer, and every time he walked into a match, it wasn't about like, oh, am I going to win or whatever. He wanted to put on the best show for us. Like, that was the biggest thing that was important to him. And you've never heard any other wrestler say anything bad about him. All the girls during the Attitude Era hung out with Mick Foley because they felt protected by him. They didn't feel like he was this predator like some of those guys are, like trying to hook up with him and everything.
Yeah.
He's an amazing father.
Yeah, no, he's married. He has stuff to do.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's too busy.
He epitomizes like that, like your friend's dad that you absolutely love, but he's an absolute psychopath. Like, you know what I mean?
Happens to be a wrestler.
Like he's just okay jumping off a 20-foot structure, and there's so many different moments and matches and everything, and like he. Looking back, like, oh yeah, like I always say, like Austin's always my favorite, but a lot of my favorite moments from when I was a kid and a teenager, Foley was a part of them.
Part of so many of them.
Like, and he almost feels like a friend. Like, he's like, almost like Kevin Smith to me, but the Kevin Smith of wrestling. Like, when I see him
that's
today,
a good comparison, actually.
Like he just, everything he does is just, like he does these the cameos you can pay, and so I'll be like, oh, hey, Garrett, your friend Joe wants to wish you a happy birthday coming from blah, 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 blah. His cameos, he went on, Mick Foley went on Amazon and bought a Mankind mask. How that even had to happen is crazy. But he does it on his phone, and he'll be, oh, hey, hip cats, this is Dude Love. Oh, what's going on there? Grab a Mankind mask, throw it on, and be like, Garrett, it's your friend Mankind.
Yeah, that screech into his voice.
And then all of a sudden he goes boom, 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 and grab some fake blood and be like, it's a hardcore legend Cactus Jack. He goes above and beyond in everything he does.
Yeah. That's why they said, that's why, for how many years, the science, Foley is God. That's why you saw it. That's why you saw it, because he's the legend.
And I cannot wait.
Definitely. He deserves that title.
100%.
I think it gets thrown around a lot with people, with certain wrestlers. Yeah, because there's oh, you've been doing it forever, you're a legend. Not necessarily.
I think you'd be very hard-pressed to find a person in that industry that was more dedicated and and put themselves through more than he did. He gave this business every fiber of his being at personal sacrifice. He was away from his family, and he did everything. He's amazing. And people forget too, kind of a local guy. He went to college out in Cortland. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that that leads into our top 5, doesn't it?
I think that would lead right into our top 5.
Our top 5 Mick Foley moments.
Todd, you got number 5?
Unfortunately, because the old brain isn't what it used to.
We didn't tell you till about 10 seconds before we went on air. Yeah,
I got 3. I got 3.
Well, you know what? Give us all 3 of yours.
Okay,
and then we'll go.
I think
ours are similar, Joe.
If number 1's the Hell in a Cell match, we'll all discuss that at the end. Of the
you can't. 5. I couldn't. I don't think there is. Even with my memory, I just don't think there is anything that would top that. So I have to say, probably number 3 is the little birthday thing he did for The Rock.
Oh, the birthday celebration!
Because that was just that was
my
great.
That's my number 3, actually. The Rock's "This Is Your Life."
Yep. Number 2.
It was a train wreck in slow mo in a beautiful way.
Yeah, it was like a train wreck of flowers.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 2, I have to say, because I remember watching it and it was a brutal match, was the I Quit match with The Rock that he did.
Right.
That in the end,
the one in the empty arena.
No. He's talking about the chair shot match where he took 10.
Yeah, ridiculous.
He's hitting his hands, and that was behind his back,
and also
The Rock just full on
into him. Yeah.
That was also the one where he used the audio of him screaming "I quit" from a previous promo to win the match. That was one that always stuck out of my head when I was a kid because it was just it was just brutal.
You'll never see a match like that again because Vince was like, "No, we're not. No, you're gonna die."
That was it. That was hard.
That was
hard.
But yeah, of course, number 1. You can't. You can't.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that. We're going to do a deep dive into that.
Yeah.
Into that moment.
My number 5 is actually the Raw the week before the This Is Your Life one. Okay? And it was September 22nd, 1997. And this was when Mick Foley was having a program with Triple H. Austin was hurt, Rock had left, and they were kind of giving the top program that was going on. And Triple H is down in the ring, and on the big screen, you see Dude Love sit down, and he's about to interview somebody. And then you see Mankind come out, and Dude Love starts interviewing Mankind. And Dude Love says, well, Hunter, you're not going to be going against me. And you're not going to be going against Mankind. There's somebody else that you're going to be going against. And into the promo walks Cactus Jack. And it was Cactus Jack's debut in WWE. Oh, God.
What's this little belt you guys are doing now? I got a new belt going on?
Really?
Seriously?
We're over here having a nice show. I thought I locked the door.
You got a new belt? That's what's going on now?
Yeah. Can we talk about this after?
Are coming true now, Garrett? Is that what's happening? Finally getting your little wrestling fantasies?
Joe, I'm going to hit this guy.
You hit me. You guys jumped me from behind last time. You had to have your Jabba the Hutt fucking bodyguard stick up. And
that is a champion you were talking about.
That is the Wrestle Fandom
That is the Wrestle Fandom Radio champion.
The only one that matters is that belt. Look it. It's right here. This is how you guys take care of your belt? This is how you take care of it? Leave it laying around?
Yeah. It was fine until you touched it.
Neither one of you deserve this belt. Neither one of you.
Yeah, so do something about it.
Well, the 1, 2, 3 said
let us finish the show, and then you do something about it.
You exist around here. I taught you how to press those buttons. You didn't know how to do shit around here. I made you, Garrett. I made you.
Yeah, and I made you better.
Yeah.
Garrett, he's just mad that
listeners.
He's mad that Mo fired him from the roadie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Anyway, so then Cactus Jack.
What were we saying?
Cactus Jack.
Before we're so rudely interrupted.
He gets introduced, and honestly, I don't think it would stick out or mean so much to me as if Hunter didn't sell it the way Hunter sold it.
He was like,
and that like
so beautiful.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. And then my number 4 was the 1998 Royal Rumble.
So that's my number 5.
Where at number 1, you have Cactus Jack. Number 16, you have Mankind. And at 28, you had Dude Love come out. I remember watching that. And, like, first when Mankind came out, I'm like, oh, no. And then when Mankind gets started, I'm like, Dude Love's coming out. Like, that I thought that was such an innovative and funny way. And it just shows that Mick Foley does not know how to quit. Like, he just is going to keep coming and coming and coming.
Yeah.
What would your 4 be?
Oh, I don't know. Finish yours because we know what the 1 is. 1 is the same for all of us, and then I'll just run through the other ones.
Number 3 was the This Is Your Life segment. Okay. Now, my number 2 is also a Hell in a Cell match. It's the No Way Out Hell in a Cell match, Triple H versus Cactus Jack.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And what I want to say about this match is this match itself, I feel like, is a way better wrestling match than actually the Hell in a Cell match with Taker and Mankind. Like, the Taker and Mankind had very, very iconic moments. And, like, but if you actually go back and watch it, besides a little bit of brawling and some moves on the top of the cell, there's no actual real wrestling there. It's really just spots.
Yeah.
Where that No Way Out match, I think, is one of Foley's best matches.
Right.
The Hunter and him, the way their chemistry, like Hunter might have had the best chemistry with Foley. Like,
he might have.
Like they had, like, and it always kind of goes under the radar, which honestly a lot of Triple H matches do. And Triple H was always a solid worker.
Yeah.
And that, like, Foley going through the top of that cage through the ring was always like a holy shit moment to me.
Right.
Yeah,
now, it's funny because I did this list, I don't know what I tell you, like a week ago or
maybe.
So I listened to
2 days ago,
the Foley's podcast on Saturday. And he actually did kind of like a walkthrough of this match. And that spot, and not to kill kayfabe, but so that, they had that top part of the thing gimmicked. And essentially what they had is they had people under the ring. They pulled the plywood out so they knew where the gimmick part of the top of the cage was. So they pulled the plywood off so the canvas would go down through, and they put a bunch of mattresses underneath there. So, like, he was completely padded when he did it, which you can't tell.
No. It still looks...
Yeah.
I mean, you're still falling from that far.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's a single mattress, like, I backyard wrestled for a long time.
I'm sure.
I went off of a trampoline onto one single mattress. It's not that soft.
Well, I'm sure they had some kind of, like, pad.
You know what I mean?
But like he said, he was so worried that it didn't work because he always felt that the spots that worked the best was when he actually hurt himself. because when he's really in pain, everybody's going to believe he's
like
in pain.
He does the squirm. He does the squirm, which makes me squirm.
But he said it barely knocked the wind out of him. So like he thought it didn't go. Where like to me as a 2000, I'm 15 years old. Like I'm like holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that match I feel like is such almost perfect put together match. Like when the only thing that messed up in it was when he was trying to throw the chairs on the top of the ring, or on the cage, and he missed like 3 times. And when he talked about it, like he had done that prior, like practiced it, and he got him up there. But by that point of the match, he was so fatigued he just couldn't do it. And 2 days before that match, they tested out the roof onto the canvas thing. But do you know who they had test it?
Who?
Shane O'Mac. And he did it like 3 times, no problem. He's like, yeah, Mick, you're going to be fine. And like the bringing up the 2x4 with the barbed wire to the top of the ring was actually a plan B because they couldn't get the chairs up. So that's why he brought that up there. And the reason they did the 2x4 instead of the bat was because at the time Sting had a bat on WCW and Vince didn't want to make them feel like that they were copied.
Yeah. Right. So then the other moments I would say were within the same moment that we're going to be talking about with the Hell in a Cell, but also like the tooth out the nose, the checking for it, which made it look like he was smiling, and like that image is almost as
it's one of the most iconic.
It's one of the most iconic images in WWE. You know, it's right up there next to like the probably 3-second clip of Taker throwing Mankind. But then the other ones would be where
the boiler room match.
the very first boiler room like promo.
Yeah.
Where you were just like, what is this dude? You know,
he's like ripping his hair out.
Yeah. And then even that match, the JR promo with Foley.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's always iconic. The hospital with Vince. With the introduction of Mr. Sacco, like
even when he saw Sacco,
you remember when he was commissioner, and like every week it'd be like some asinine spot where he'd have his commissioner's office. Yeah. Like he's done so many iconic things, but I feel like
the only thing is when he won the belt.
That was
when he won the belt and tipped the scales.
Yes.
For WWE, and then they never lost. The ratings battle again.
Because WCW shot themselves in the foot by saying, hey, Mick Foley's going to win the belt tonight. And of course, people aren't going to be like, oh, cool. They're going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to watch that.
Yeah, like, because it had been working for them.
Yeah.
You know, with Tony calling out, which I always thought was kind of dirty, but it was working for them because then people didn't have to. But when he announced something that people really wanted to see, it happened. And then it never went back. Nope. They never won the ratings after that. WCW was down.
Yep.
You know, that was the beginning of the end. But then obviously number one
the Hell in a Cell match, dude.
Is Undertaker throwing Mankind off the
whole match.
The whole match.
The whole thing.
But that moment, I would guarantee that it's the most YouTubed moment of WWE. Yeah. I guarantee it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Biggest spot, ever, like bigger than anything Jeff Hardy or Shane O'Mac did, and if they did it, it was trying to catch that moment. You know what I mean? Trying to,
And the whole way that moment came about was because the year before was the first Hell in a Cell match with Michaels and Taker, and so Foley's like, what can we do to top it? And Taker's like, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Like, and if you recall, Shawn was hanging from the cage. And at that time, the cage was only 16 feet. Mm-hmm. And he's hanging from it. And then he goes through the table. So Foley's like, and I guess it was him and Terry Funk, like, talking, trying to figure it out. And Terry Funk kiddingly was like, well, why don't you start on top of the cage for the match? And Foley's like, yeah, that's perfect. And Taker actually had a fractured ankle at the time. So you got Taker climbing up the cage, and that's why when he tossed Foley off, he stayed up there. And, like, there's that when they're bringing the medical in, they lift the cage for a little bit, and Taker's still up there. And Taker, like, when they realized part of that roof was given away, because that wasn't gimmicked, Foley's like, throw me through it. And Taker's like, no.
He said no to all the spots.
Yeah.
And he said no to a lot of spots. I heard this about when the time he chokeslammed Spike Dudley to the outside of the ring, that Spike had to talk him into that. He's like, I'm not doing that to you.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you have to do that. It will be awesome. Everyone will talk about it. Everyone will remember it. And he's like, but it's going to hurt you. Don't care. Let's go.
And that's it. And then, like, boom, like, going through that roof. And you see, like, Taker kind of hangs and then drops. And you can see him, like, oh, fuck my ankle, you know?
Yeah.
And they thought Foley was dead, like, when that happened. Like, nobody thought, like, they thought he was done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the squirm I'm talking about. When he went through that ring that time, that squirm that happened was just like, ow, my body.
Because wasn't that when the chair came down and actually, like, knocked him out, too?
It might have, actually.
I don't even remember.
But one of the funniest moments to me is they're trying to kill time to figure out what they're going to do. So Terry Funk tries to go at Taker, and Taker literally chokeslams him out of his shoes.
Right.
Like, and however he got back up, like this man left on a stretcher, gets off the stretcher, comes back, and then essentially has to leave on another one. And like just everything in that match, even though there, like I said earlier, there wasn't a lot of wrestling going on in that, the stuff he chose to do solely for our entertainment it's remarkable.
It was like one of the first spot fests.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they can't be duplicated. It just can't. You know what I mean? And one that you're fine with. It's like, because like that's what Young Buck matches are. It's spot. You know what I mean? 100%. Like it's all spot fest.
He set up a precedence. And like we're not even talking about the stuff he did in New Japan with like the death matches with Terry Funk and everything else. Like his bodied and long storied career, like he will forever go down as one of the greats, one of the most innovative guys. And yesterday was his 57th birthday. Tonight I'm really hoping just to get a hug. That's all I want.
I think he will. He seems like a hugging type of guy.
I only got to meet him once. He was at a TNA house show, and him and Van Dam closed. Van Dam was wrestling Flair, or I forgot exactly how it went down, but he fully had Sacco on, and Mandible clawed Flair, and then Flair left, and then those two stayed in the ring to do photos with everybody after the thing. So I got to shake Sacco after it had been in Ric Flair's mouth. Color me,
like you've
super
done
happy.
Everything you can. Man. It's over now.
That was it.
You should walk off into the sunset. So now we have Wrestle Fandom with Joe and Todd. Garrett will be leaving the building.
I'm officially done. My work here made a belt.
I've done all I can do here.
It's been a good ride. I don't know if everyone can see the awesomeness that is Todd's shirt today. It's Pink Floyd Ninja Turtle shirt. Who's your favorite turtle?
Donatello.
Raphael.
Donnie. No one else ever says Donnie. Donatello was the best turtle.
It's just something about him, and you know what, man? It was, all he had was that staff, but it was just...
And he kicks everyone.
Yeah.
He's smarter than everybody else.
Weapon.
He's almost as funny as Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Donnie. All right, Joe, you're out. Donnie or Todd's in.
Wait, I haven't done all I can do. But
Todd's the new second in. No, I'm sure.
But again, thank you to ICW, our man Coffin.
Yeah.
Thank you to our sponsors, Rockin' Horse Tattoo, Seasonal Sports. Monday through Thursday, 8 to 12. Tune into the drive for a little bit of Todd time.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you guys again for having me. And definitely
Anytime.
huge congrats with that belt.
Yes, thank you.
That's awesome.
Super excited.
That's fantastic. You guys deserve it.
Noon on Friday, new episode of Movie Madness. Check out the Wrestle Fandom Radio, Facebook, the Movie Madness, Facebook, at Joey Stones on TikTok. And I just want to end the show on one thing, Garrett.
What's that?
Bang, bang.
I'm going to end the show with yeah, I'm gonna go beat the crap out of Z because this is ridiculous. I'm gonna go hit him with this belt, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
All right.